In this video, I'll introduce you to our Brand Runner AI system. The Brand Runner AI system is what our internal brand runners use to manage our accounts. We also share this with our partners to follow along. Starts with our Copilot system. The Copilot system is an AI copilot with some default questions to help brand runners quickly understand what needs the most attention. We've defaulted data here with some dummy data for Fiskars and Gerber, so you can get a sense of what type of information you can see in the system when it's fully populated. The Copilot does provide extensive answers on the initial questions, and what it's used to do is to highlight any quick hits, any places that are performing above or below plan and why, and any actions that need to be taken right away. Snapshot panel looks across 7 areas, provides scoring across our benchmarks in order for brand runners to quickly understand where something needs attention today, is over or underperforming against expectations, and what are some priority actions. In addition, the snapshot also pulls out upcoming events, things that need to happen, whether it's a restock or whether it's a meeting coming up. So it provides a way that our partnership can stay on track and aligned. The Convert tool is where we really look at content. This is a full scoring and snapshot of PDP information, but it's also a management tool. I'll show you one example of where you can go inside a product, specifically if something is underperforming or missing. It's not just data, but it's a place where you can actually take action. In this example, we could get an AI recommendation for a description. This again is based on dummy data. We would populate it with real keywords and information that would inform what would be the best possible description in this case. And if the user who is using this are brand runners or content leaders, if they decide that this is acceptable or it needs review by your team, they can do that and they can push it right to Amazon once it's approved. In this way, this is both a ongoing, always on content snapshot and benchmarking system, but also a management system to make changes. Our syndicate dashboard is where we look across marketplaces. This is where we can pull in data anywhere there's an API or data accessibility. We can pull it again. We again use dummy data here. We can look at which products are in which marketplaces, the listing health. Listing health specifically is whether the information on the listing matches what's in our information management system, our PIM system, and if it's not, action can be taken, task created, and resync to the system in addition to basic information like what's performing in what channel and sales. Our awareness and growth sections here are to support our media pilots in marketing efforts. Our awareness dashboard looks at some leading indicators as well, including branded search volume and what we call a category momentum index that takes in category data that we're tracking week by week and month by month to look at what's going on off platform, for example, off Amazon that might be influencing Amazon. This is also our way to track customer base and customer base growth over time. We pull in as much data as available in Vendor Central, and in cases where you have Seller Central, we can pull in Seller Central data as well. The growth section is the one that's evolving the most. This is where we bring in core marketing and advertising data, both PPC and DSP data. We're tracking by campaign, by channel, looking at search performance, channel performance, looking at the specifics about underperforming or overperforming, budget pacing. Are we in line? Are we ahead? This allows media pilots to take action. The next best actions are pre-populated at the top. These are guides, but again, we would review actions in structured meetings, either weekly or biweekly, with partners to understand what the next best action should be and stay aligned. The profit section is where we look at all costs and revenue, and to the degree possible, managing down to profit. This is a customizable input tool, so to the degree that we could put in specific expenses and COGS, even beyond what we can pull from Vendor Central, we can do that in order to manage to profitability. When we do that, we can really create an income statement that your teams can look at over time. and that helps us understand where marketing can be turned up or down, and while meeting your profit goals. So many of our partners use this as we manage to a specific profit goal. The asset section is where we look at inventory, looks at inventory by SKU or by ASIN, and looks at the status and days of inventory left based on what's in the marketplace. Protect is our brand protection tool. While this section provides information about buy box, the Protect Action section is where real actions can be taken. This is our brand protection management system where it pulls in detailed information. In this case, we've used Gerber as an example, pulls in specific violations, whether they are MAP violations or unauthorized selling violations, and actions can be taken within this tool. So, for example, if we look at specific sellers and specific products sold by specific sellers, we can then either send a letter, which is a registered mail letter, or send emails based on specific templates. Those templates can also be sent and resent in order to keep the pace on communication. And these can be pre-approved templates, and we can have as much approval or little approval as needed with our partners in order to keep up pace on communicating. These enforcement actions are then tracked and can look over time on who's been removed and who is still out there. Really, the secret to great brand protection is consistency, and this tool allows us to be consistent on communicating with sellers, really understanding who's out there, who they are, and taking action. Other actions are taken in brand protection, including through brand registry. But this is a core piece of um, really being consistent in addressing unauthorized selling. Category information can be as many categories as you're interested in on Amazon. We'll look at the competitive landscape, category trends. This is also customizable. Some partners like to look at new product launches that have happened in the last month by competitors. The Geo dashboard, as generative engine optimization and AI search is becoming a really important part of organic. Uh, this tool is quite deep and sophisticated in terms of both assessment and action. This again is an example using Gerber information. A couple of prompts that were pre-populated are related to best multi-tools or best outdoor and everyday carry knives, and then a lot of prompts that the system has assessed and thought would be good to assess in the AI engines. We're just assessing one AI engine here, Gemini, but it can be assessed through all the major ones at the same time. What it does is pull the information into a few different areas. This is the total citation. So, based on those particular topics, this is a list of domains of who's getting really the citation share and mentioned through the AI engines on those specific topics and the top cited URLs. Um, and if we look at competitors, we can kind of look at the citation coverage there. Mentioned similarly, you can look at who's being mentioned and why and how. But I wanted to draw your attention mostly to the actions page. All of this information is fed into recommendations. The recommendations are very valuable and they're divided into two specific areas. One is technical and one is content. So these technical recommendations are specific technical changes to the website that can, in assessment here, have high impact and low effort, or high impact, medium effort. And what these are specific website changes, whether it's title length or meta description length or specific JSON changes. When you click into it, you can look at what the specific recommended changes are, and then you can track over time which things you have changed by marking it as a complete task. Also, on the content recommendations are specific, again, organized by their level of impact and level of effort. For example, here it's recommending publishing use case and carry case a use case and carry choice multi-tool guide for the website. So that's a recommendation to be added to the website with examples of specific content that need to be in there. And what the system is saying is when you have that content, you're able to put yourself in the citation mix for the specific prompts that we kind of pre-populated. You can go even further here. So for your SEO teams who are increasingly need to become GEO teams, you can use the content playground to populate the content and then analyze it before you even publish it, not just for the recommendations here, but for any kind of content that's going on the website or any web property. You can test it out in the system before you publish it. It's a great filter to make sure that your upstream investments in content are actually going to pay off from an AI perspective. That's the summary review of the tool. Please reach out to us with any questions during this process.